So Sadhguru, speaking of Chennai and change, all of us here are undergoing one of the biggest changes in our lives because up until now, we haven't really faced a shortage of a basic necessity that is like a water or food or shelter. But now Chennai is facing one of the biggest water crises, I think, in history, where they predict in 10 years the city is going to be dry and there won't be any water left. And the water crisis is something that you have been tackling with Kaveri calling. So as the youth of this generation and as engineers in particular, how can we fix this problem immediately so that we don't have to wait 10 years for the city to dry up? What can we do to solve it?
Have you seen older Tamil movies or even Hindi movies where village women are carrying big pots on their head and walking water, and the hero comes and sings a song, and she also sings a song, and romance happens, there she danced with the pot on her head. You've seen these things? Well, that is because the actress is carrying an empty pot. But the real woman in the village is carrying a pot which weighs 15 to 20 kilograms on her head. Nobody sings to her, and she cannot even open her mouth. She's shaking like this. Have you seen them? Hello? With 20 kilograms on her head, her neck and her head, everything is shaking with stress. She's not going to sing a song, she's not going to fall in love with anybody on the street. She just wants to take the damn pot and put the water in the house because her children and her husband and her family, whatever, for them. You thought it's romantic when a rural person carries a pot full of water on her head or on his head. But today that you have to carry a pot on your head, it's come, time has come. Now you think it's a crisis. Wonderful to your humanity. Fantastic sense of humanity. I'm glad you're getting the point. Because water distress has been there in rural India for a very long time. I want you to understand this. Only when it comes to urban centers, now we're thinking it's a real crisis. No, most of the population is in rural India. The crisis has always been there, isn't it? In the last 25, 30 years, there's been a serious crisis. Well, now it's come to Chennai, at least now you're at least willing to talk about it, I'm glad. In the last 25 years mostly, I've been watching this with great distress, that slowly Kaveri is depleting, not only Kaveri, all rivers across India have depleted around 40%. Rivers like Krishna have depleted over 70%. Narmada has depleted over 65%. Like this, it goes. If you do not know this, a river which was perennial for millions of years, in the last, I think 12 or 15 years, nearly 4 to 5.5 months, Kaveri is not touching the ocean. Recently, about 4-5 days ago, there was news that somewhere in Tamil Nadu, I don't remember the time, where Kaveri came and people are bowing down, they're doing puja, they're worshipping and welcoming Kaveri because she's coming after 6-7 months, she was dry. This has happened only in the last 12 to 15 years. Today in Bangalore city, without 1,200 feet, there is not a drop of water in the bore wells. There were over 1,000 lakes in Bangalore, 3 perennial rivers. Nobody knows where the rivers are anymore, it's all built up. Only 83 lakes are left, out of which only 17 lakes have fresh water, rest is just sewage. What's our plan for the future generations?
So in Tamil Nadu, it is very popular in the culture, they'll say if something really nasty is happening in a home or anywhere, they say this is like Kolai Sunday. That is, they go and fight near the tap, the women. So 2 women are fighting, they say this is like Kolai Sunday. It's become culture. So when women were fighting, women folk have been fighting at the taps for a long time, that it's become a cultural thing. Why were they fighting? Is it entertainment? They were not fighting for fun. Every day they have to go and stand near the tap. There's a long queue, but the damn tap is wet only for half an hour, 1 hour. If it gets over, you have to fight and jump the queue somehow. So when women were fighting, abuses were flowing endlessly. Now men have entered the scene because the situation has become more dire. Once men enter, deaths are happening, they're killing each other. Naturally, women were doing verbal fights, now physical fights are happening. You heard one death happened in Tamil Nadu, many fights, physical fights have happened. In UP, a pregnant woman was killed just 4 days ago because men are entering the fight now. Now killings will happen. It's not far away when this can happen large scale, because you must see, if we fail to rejuvenate this soil and this water, the civil strife that is waiting on our hands is big. It doesn't matter, cricketers, IPL has grown big, spiritual process is happening, businesses are happening, IT revolution is happening in Bangalore city. Well, in tomorrow, our scientists are putting a moon probe. All this is fantastic. But once water becomes a serious issue, the civil strife is going to pull all these damn things down. It'll put the country back 50 years within a matter of month or two, because the amount of civil strife that will happen.
So, right now Kaveri calling is a plan to both relieve farm distress, enhance the soil quality and ensure water flows in Kaveri and the wells and everything. What is the plan? See, the only way is to put back green cover. Is it possible to grow forests? No, because the population pressure is such, you cannot bring back forests into farmland, it's not going to work. This is not my work, this is not the work of a single organization, this is a generational work. I want you to be part of this because this needs to happen. As a generation, if we don't do this, we have failed as a generation, because this is far more serious than most people understand. If we don't fix this now, we're destroying the future of this nation. So, what can Chennai people do for Kaveri calling? See, farmers are on the… they're willing. Right now, in the last 40 days, our 45 vehicles have covered over 6,000 villages, enrolling 2.7 lakh farmers to agroforestry. Just educating them how to do it, what to do it, about 2.7 lakh farmers have enrolled. Now, with sustained work for last few years, we've got both the governments to give subsidy and to clear the tree cutting laws for the farmers. So the farmers are on, the government is on. Now the challenge is to raise the saplings. 242 crore saplings. No government department is geared to raise this kind of volume. They will have to create a whole new department to do this. All that will take too much time, it's not worth going that way. I'm asking the citizens of this country, because one sapling raising, because there are many species, some cost less, some cost more, on an average, it costs 42 rupees per sapling. I'm asking, can't the citizens of this nation stand up and raise the saplings? That you don't have to do it, we are training farmers to use this as a business, that they can raise the saplings and sell it back to us. We are training thousands of farmers to make this a business in the next 2-3 years' time, that they can raise the saplings and give it to us. We have started about 33 nurseries. We want to start somewhere around 300 to 350 nurseries along the Kaveri basin to service all the farmers in the area. There are 5 million farmers in this region. All we are asking for the citizens is, make this 42 rupees. I'm telling you, this is far more serious than anybody understands, far more serious. If we don't act now, it'll not happen. I'm asking all of you, you said there are 2 lakh engineering students. If you take all the students in Tamil Nadu, there are I think about 25 lakh students. You all have your phones, smartphones, let me see how smart you are. Please use this damn thing and let me see You make the students in Tamil Nadu, 25 lakh students, at least one sapling a month, 42 rupees, can't you do? All you have to do is miss one coffee. If youth of this nation don't stand up for their own future, I don't think you can call them youth. They've become old when they're young. Yes, if you do not stand up for your own future, what is it? Don't think just an engineering degree is going to make your life. It doesn't matter what qualification you have, what wealth you have, unless you run away from the country. In this country, if we do not revive the soil and water sources in this country, you will not live well. You may have qualifications, you may have money, you may have wealth, you cannot live well because you will have to carry a pot in Chennai. Please, let's make this happen, huh? Will you?